Julian, I didn't expect that after 5 years. You still haven't improved at all. Wait another 5 years for Isabella then, Adrian said with a disdainful tone. As soon as he finished speaking, Isabella took out an agreement identical to the one from 5 years ago. I didn't reach out to take it, but turned to look at Isabella and asked, "Are you serious?" Isabella glanced at Adrian, smiled at me, and said, "Julian, I think Adrian makes sense. You should wait another 5 years for me. He's doing this for my own good." She still believed in her so-called male best friend, as always. The look in her eyes when she looked at him was once what I had, but now her eyes are full of her male best friend. I also laughed. People's hearts are indeed fickle. If I hadn't given up on her when she went abroad 5 years ago, then I would be the biggest sucker in the world right now. Luckily, I woke up as a rich second generation. Being a simp is too demeaning. "Julian, what are you laughing at? Sign it quickly." Adrian had a contemptuous smile on his face and urged me in a commanding tone. Anyone who didn't know the situation would think he was my boss. I ignored the agreement Isabella handed to me and stared at Adrian with cold eyes. "What kind of thing do you think you are? How dare you order me around?" After saying that, I didn't look at Adrian's face, which had turned the color of a pig's liver. I turned back to Isabella and asked, "Isabella, I waited 5 years, and this is the result? Even an illegitimate son who can't be brought to the table dares to yell at me." My tough attitude took Isabella by surprise. Her face was slightly stiff, seemingly shocked by my change. Everyone in the banquet hall turned their attention to Isabella, wanting to see how she would respond. Isabella's face quickly returned to normal, and her tone seemed casual. "Adrian and I grew up together. He took care of me these 5 years abroad. He's doing all this for my own good. It's just asking you to wait another 5 years. Why are you being so fierce?" The people around her were shocked by her shameless remarks. 5 years to wait for an uncertain result. How many 5-year periods are there in a lifetime? My heart didn't waver at all. I just felt sorry for my younger self, to actually like someone like this. 5 years ago at the airport, she said she would come back and marry me in 5 years. The first thing she did when she returned to the country 5 years later was to ask me to wait another 5 years. I wasn't planning on coming to this banquet today, but I still wanted to see the girl from my youthful memories who wore a ponytail and had 2 adorable dimples when she smiled, to put an end to my surging youth. But the Isabella in front of me made me feel incredibly unfamiliar. The once understanding, pure, and moving girl had become so frivolous and mercenary. "Isabella, 5 years ago you chose to believe this beast, and 5 years later you really haven't changed at all. Julian, Adrian grew up with me. How can you curse at him like that? Apologize to Adrian, or I won't forgive you." Apologize? Isabella must be out of her mind. I had already decided I didn't want her 5 years ago. What difference does it make whether she forgives me or not? Let her and her male best friend stay locked up together, so they don't come out and harm people. Isabella, then you and a good best friend should lock yourselves up together. Don't show up in front of me again and disgust me. Having said that, I prepare to leave. But Adrian jumped out at this moment, glaring and rebuking me. "Julian, Isabella is such an excellent girl. Many people are chasing after her. If you don't cherish her, there are plenty of others who will. Kneel down and apologize to Isabella now, and I can get her to forgive you." He thought I would still like Isabella as I did 5 years ago, tolerating him in every way. But I did what I wanted to do 5 years ago. Slap. I slapped him, the loud sound echoing throughout the banquet hall. "Is one of the people who cherish her you? That's why you've been sowing discord between us. Julian, you dare to hit me?" Adrian roared hysterically, his fists clenched until they cracked, wishing he could kill me. Isabella pushed me away forcefully, seeing the clear handprint on Adrian's face. She said angrily, "Julian, hitting Adrian is like slapping my face. I order you to kneel down and apologize to Adrian immediately." Her aura of a superior was fully displayed, and everyone in the hall held their breath. The corners of Adrian's mouth curved up as if he could already see me kneeling and apologizing in embarrassment. But I couldn't help but laugh. "Isabella, did a donkey kick your brain?" asking the heir of the Sterling family to kneel down and apologize to a bastard. Does he deserve it? It seems that these 5 years have made you forget how the Bennett family status came to be. Isabella's eyes didn't waver, and her tone softened. Julian, everything Adrian does is for my own good. His tone wasn't good, he's in the wrong. But you can't hit him. Just apologize to him, so I can save face. I scoffed. Save face for you? Who will save face for me? Isabella's face turned ugly after being embarrassed again. Julian, how have you become like this? It seems like not getting engaged to you 5 years ago was the right thing to do. You still haven't learned to be mature and steady. If you continue like this, I will never forgive you. Even now, she still naively believes that I am the fool who loved her as much as my life 5 years ago, not daring to disobey her orders in the slightest. Whenever I made her unhappy, she would ignore me, and I would immediately follow behind her, carefully apologizing. Mature? Steady. Your so-called maturity and steadiness mean that no matter what he does to me, I can't even say a harsh word. I looked at Isabella with angry eyes, saying, back then, when he had an asthma attack, if I hadn't discovered it in time and contacted the doctor to save his dog life, the grass on his grave would be several feet tall by now. But how did he repay me? By putting laxatives in my food, almost causing me to collapse and die. After hearing this, everyone around looked at Adrian with contempt. Ever since Adrian appeared in front of Isabella and me, he has been sowing discord, stirring up trouble, and framing me. He did too many shady things behind Isabella's back. Only a fool like Isabella would see this scheming man as a simple and kind neighbor's younger brother. Seeing this, Adrian immediately put on that disgusting, pitiful act again. Young Mr. Sterling, don't blame Isabella. All the fault is mine. I owe you a life, and now I'll return it to you. After he finished speaking, he rushed toward the pillar. But no one could see through that hypocritical performance. But Isabella just eats that up. Adrian lay on the ground, and she immediately ran over to help him up, covering the wound on his forehead with her hand. She looked at me angrily. Your attitude of seeking repayment for kindness is disgusting. If anything happens to Adrian, I'm not done with you. After she finished speaking, she carried Adrian out of the venue on her thin shoulders. Adrian, as they were about to leave, looking back, her eyes were full of mockery of Victor's pose, as if to say, no matter how much you do, in Isabella's heart, I'm still more important than you. The protagonist left, and the surrounding guests also scattered in 2s and 3s. Only the gazes directed at me held a hint of schadenfreude. The dignified young master of the Sterling family, forced to watch his fiancée protect another man at every turn. I could already imagine how this would become the talk of the town tomorrow, but I didn't feel any anger, only amusement. When Isabella discovers Adrian's true colors, I wonder if she'll still be able to laugh. For 5 years, she was busy being lovey-dovey with Adrian, while I, her legitimate fiancé, didn't receive a single phone call of concern from her. At this moment, I'm glad I chose to let go 5 years ago. Suddenly, the phone rang, and I saw the words wife on the caller ID. All the negative emotions in my heart dissipated. Hello, honey. How was the gathering today? Haha. I watched Isabella and Adrian give me a show of deep affection, unwavering devotion. What? Can't you still forget her? Wife, I swear to heaven, my heart is only filled with you and the 2 little ones. Isabella is all in the past for me. I just didn't expect the girl who used to follow me around to become like this. Honey, people's hearts change easily. All we can do is maintain our own kind heart. Yes, people's hearts change easily. All right, honey, let's not talk about those annoying things. When are you coming back? The babies miss you. The company matters here. I estimate it will take about another week to finish. Then when you're done, hurry back. We'll be waiting for you at home. Love you, wife. Love you, husband. Hanging up the phone, a happy smile spread across my face. Walking out of the hotel, the last trace of affection I had for Isabella completely disappeared. Of course, this affection wasn't related to love, but a nostalgic yearning for beautiful things from my youth. Mr. Sterling, Chairman Sterling's phone call. The assistant trotted up to me, handed me the phone. Julian, why couldn't I get through on the phone just now? My father asked. I was just on a call with Sophia. I heard you and Isabella had an unpleasant encounter? Yes, she's still playing me for a fool. I replied calmly. You kid was head over heels for her back then. Isn't it normal for her to take you for a fool? Dad, you really know how to talk. Get lost. You kid is already married and has children. If you dare to do anything to hurt Sophia, I'll break your legs. Dad, do you think I have so few principles? You're talking to me about principles? All the crazy things you did for Isabella back then. Did that look like you had any principles? I was young back then. Now I've woken up. I won't be foolish again. That's for the best. If you let her go, then I'll take back all the resources I've given to the Bennett family. Take them back. I won't have any more dealings with her in the future. Good. That's more like a Sterling family heir. After my father finished speaking, he hung up the phone. I couldn't really blame my father for thinking that way. It was because I had acted like a total simp too many times before. I bet if Isabella had asked me to buy her and Adrian baby burial shrouds at the time, I would excitedly buy gifts for them and send them over. As long as she was happy, I was willing to suffer myself. Looking back now, I was like someone who had been cursed back then. I shook my head, discarded these distracting thoughts, and left the hotel by car. Back at the company, I started to handle the work at hand. Because the whole company was moving to New York, the Seattle business needed to be wrapped up. During this time, I was extremely busy. If Isabella hadn't called me last night, saying she was back, I would have forgotten about her. I didn't want to attend the banquet today, but after talking to my wife, I felt it was necessary to make things clear to Isabella. Let her pursue her own happiness. I won't bother her anymore. The love from back then was real, and the lack of love now is also real. It doesn't matter about love and hate. No one can guarantee a lifetime of pure love for only one person. I have let go of all feelings for her. But in my heart, I also hope that the girl I liked when I was young and naive can have a happy ending. But the scenes at the banquet made my thoughts and feelings seem like a joke. This selfish woman doesn't deserve happiness at all. So I didn't object to my father taking back the resources from the Bennett family. While I was thinking, the office door was violently kicked open. My assistant said anxiously, Mr. Sterling, I'm sorry, I couldn't stop him. After seeing who it was, I didn't say anything and waved for him to leave. After the door was closed, Mr. Bennett sat down opposite me, looking angry. I thought he was going to apologize to me. Unexpectedly, he opened his mouth with an angry accusation. Julian, Isabella only asked you to wait 5 more years. How could you not give her any face in front of so many people? Doesn't Isabella, such an excellent girl, deserve your wait? I finished the coffee in my cup and asked calmly, Is that the main point? What do you mean by that? Mr. Bennett frowned, obviously unaware of what had happened in the banquet hall. You should ask your precious daughter what she did. No matter what Isabella did, you can't be so disrespectful. She cried very sadly when she called me. Mr. Bennett's tone was obviously much softer, probably because he knew Isabella had hidden a lot from him. Mr. Bennett, Isabella was accompanied by Adrian when she went abroad 5 years ago. 5 years have passed, and she is still with Adrian. Because Isabella always protects him, even a bastard like Adrian dares to order me around. Do you really think I, the heir to the Sterling family, am just a figurehead? She asked me to wait 5 years, and the first thing she said when we met was to wait another 5 years. Is she treating me like a monkey? Isabella is always saying Adrian is doing this for her own good, and Adrian is doing that for her own good. Does that mean I'm not good to her? I calmly stated the cause and effect of the matter one by one. After saying these things, I thought Mr. Bennett would leave in shame. Mr. Bennett went from being surprised at first to becoming angry. Julian, Adrian grew up with Isabella. Is there just pure friendship between them? He did everything for Isabella's sake. It's just a small matter. Are you going to make such a big deal out of it? You're not giving us any face at all. His words made me laugh. Like father, like daughter, the same disgusting face. It's truly disgusting. I stood up, staring intently at Mr. Bennett. I give you face. Then where do I put my face? Mister. Bennett snorted disdainfully. What face do you need? Isn't it enough that Isabella is willing to marry you? If you really love Isabella, not to mention 5 years, even 10 years will be fine. I'll prepare a press conference tomorrow, and you will apologize to Isabella and Adrian in front of the media. The Sterling family now is not the Sterling family of 5 years ago. Don't force my hand. Over the years, with my father's behind-the-scenes support, the Bennett Group has grown stronger day by day, and the Sterling family's business has begun to shift in recent years. So much so that it gives Mr. Bennett the illusion that the Sterling family is declining and the Bennett family is rising. He really thinks that the Bennett family's success today is due to his brilliant leadership. Little is to be gained arguing with such a person. I don't want to bother with Mr. Bennett anymore. Someone, see the guest out. I shouted loudly towards the door. Mr. Bennett was so angry that his breathing became rapid, but I didn't pay any attention to it. Mr. Bennett was pushed and pulled out by the assistant. The office was instantly restored to silence. The phone suddenly rang. I saw a message from Isabella. Julian, Adrian is seriously injured. Come to the hospital now and apologize to him, and I will forgive you, but only this once. If you do this again, I won't forgive you. I realized that I forgot to block Isabella and immediately added her to the blacklist. The next day, early in the morning, I came to the hospital with gifts. This time back to Seattle, my father asked me to visit his old comrade in arms. I thought I would be busy in a few days, so I took the time to get this done. It's always the same bad luck. I hadn't found my father's old comrade in arms yet, but I accidentally ran into Isabella, who was taking care of Adrian. Seeing the things in my hand, Isabella said with great satisfaction, Julian, I knew you loved me in your heart. Adrian just woke up, go apologize to him now. Saying that, she reached out to take the gift in my hand. I saw the hickeys on her neck and avoided her outstretched hand. Julian, what do you mean? My actions took her by surprise, and she questioned me. Ms. Bennett, shouldn't you clean up the marks on your neck? Outsiders will think you're a promiscuous woman. I pointed my finger at Isabella and said, after being exposed by me, Isabella became angry and embarrassed. Isn't this because of you? If you hadn't beaten Adrian yesterday, why would I have let him kiss me? I was shocked by her bizarre remarks. How moronic do you have to be to say such a thing? Ms. Bennett, according to you, if I beat Adrian up again, would you have to sleep with him to apologize for me? Julian, you bastard. In your heart, am I such a promiscuous person? Oh, aren't you? After speaking, I ignored her and prepared to visit the patient. Isabella's angry voice came from behind. Julian, I will never forgive you. I just felt it was laughable. At the same time, I'm also thankful. If I hadn't let go 5 years ago, I would now be wearing a huge green hat of forgiveness. I chatted with Mr. Grant for a while and told him the news that the company was preparing to move to New York. Mr. Grant held my hand and said happily, Julian, seeing you like this now, I'm really happy for your father. Old Sterling has a good son, but don't you go back down that road. Isabella isn't a good match. If you do anything to hurt Sophia, I'll definitely slap you in the face. Mr. Grant's words made me silent. It turned out that all the elders knew Isabella's true colors. Only I, who was madly in love at the time, stupidly thought she was the best person in the world. Mr. Grant, don't worry. I'm very happy now and won't do anything stupid. Mr. Grant was the president of our university. He was very clear about the absurd things I did in college to chase Isabella. The first day of university, Isabella was wearing a white dress and had a ponytail. She was also pulling a huge suitcase. Her face was filled with the unique smile of youth, pure and beautiful, and I saw her the first time I turned around after registering. With just one glance, I was captivated. I diligently ran over to help her pull the suitcase, wanting to get closer to her. But the restraint of a young girl made her attitude toward me lukewarm. From that day on, I started chasing her madly. Sending her flowers and milk tea were basic daily operations. Since we weren't in the same major, I followed her around to her major classes every day. As a result, in my freshman year, I knew all of her teachers. but I didn't know any of the teachers in my own major. So, naturally, all of my major courses lit up with red lights. The teachers and counselors complained to the president, strongly demanding my expulsion. Mr. Grant personally called me to his office and lectured me earnestly for an entire afternoon. Only then did I return to my normal university life. During this period, Isabella and I became friends. But my repeated confessions were still rejected by her. I've been a rich second generation since I was a child, and I've never been unable to get what I wanted, bumping into a wall with Isabella. Instead, it aroused my competitive spirit. I was determined to chase her and marry her as my wife. In my sophomore year, I saw someone laying candles on the ground to confess their love under the girls' dormitory building. I felt that this was a good idea. I called a truck and loaded it full of candles and flowers. The area under Isabella's dormitory building was filled with candles by me. Flowers covered the open space in front of the building. The eyes of the girls watching nearby were sparkling. This scene made me feel confident that this confession would succeed. What girl doesn't like this kind of romance? I held a loudspeaker and shouted with full energy at the building, "Isabella, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" But as soon as I finished speaking, before Isabella could respond, a gust of wind blew past. The candles ignited the withered grass in the adjacent garden. The fire spread instantly. I was so scared that I forgot all about confessing. I rushed to put out the fire. Fortunately, the garden wasn't very big, and the fire was successfully extinguished. The school also notified my parents. In the end, my father paid for the school's damages, which saved me from being expelled. The result was that the confession failed, and I was beaten by my dad and confined to bed for half a month. When I returned to school again, I had become a household name on campus. My nickname was True Love Warrior. My youthful vanity was greatly satisfied, and I was still fantasizing about Isabella accepting my confession. But when I appeared in front of Isabella, she didn't greet me as familiarly as before, but deliberately avoided me. I couldn't figure it out. Later, I treated others in her dorm to a few meals, and I realized that the last incident had also made Isabella famous. But girls are sensitive, and she felt that my actions had made her lose face and become the talk of the town. Realizing this, I humbly apologized to her. "Isabella, I'm sorry, I didn't think things through last time. Don't worry, I won't do anything to embarrass you like that again. Please forgive me. If you ignore me, I can't eat or sleep well, and I'm thinking about you all day." My directness made Isabella unable to resist, and my words made her face blush. Even her ears turned red, and she stammered a little when she spoke. "You, Julian, I forgive you this time. In the future, don't be so impulsive and reckless." Hearing her forgive me, I was so excited I wanted to pick her up and hug her. But the remaining rationality made me dare not make any movements, and I could only awkwardly scratch my head. "Isabella, don't worry. I'll listen to you from now on. I heard they said you were beaten by your dad. Are you okay now?" "It's nothing. I'm tough and have already recovered." That incident seemed to have brought us closer. I was still pursuing her, following her to the library to read and study every day. I don't know where I got the motivation at the time, but I was able to accompany her through thick and thin. My friends all said I was completely changed, but I didn't have anyone I liked before, and Isabella's smile was all my motivation. A persistent pursuer melts the heart of the toughest woman. Under my tireless pursuit, in my junior year, Isabella and I got together. At that time, I felt like I was the happiest person in the world. We spent 2 wonderful years of campus life together after college. The beauty of campus love lies in the fact that the two sides don't involve too many interests. That kind of love is pure and passionate. During that time, Mr. Bennett also moved his small factory to Seattle. I begged my father to give him some help in secret. My father was unwilling. Later, I pestered my mother for a long time before my father reluctantly agreed. Mr. Bennett is also a capable person. In just a few years, he developed the original small factory into the current group company. Isabella also stayed in Seattle to develop after graduation. She went to her own company to start learning how to manage the company. I didn't want to get involved in my own company's affairs and rejected my father's arrangements. I went to Bennett Group with Isabella. For the first 2 years, we were both low-level employees. Our relationship didn't change. But as Isabella got promoted, she met more and more outstanding people. We started to have arguments, but that's normal for couples. Until Adrian appeared, the conflicts between us intensified. I was dissatisfied with the boundaryless interaction between her and Adrian. She would always say, "Adrian and I grew up together. If I liked him, we would have been together long ago. Can you not be so narrow-minded?" She made me wonder if I was being too sensitive. I kept lying to myself that Isabella loved me. She just treated Adrian as a friend. After saying the lie too many times, I even believed it myself. After Mr. Bennett found out about my identity, he often said he wanted to meet my father. Later, our parents met and arranged our marriage. I was secretly overjoyed. My long-cherished wish had finally come true. I excitedly hugged her and spun her around. My father was actually dissatisfied with Isabella in his heart, but for my sake, he agreed to the marriage. At that time, I was completely immersed in sweet romance. I personally handled all the matters for the engagement banquet, just to give her a grand and beautiful ceremony, to leave a precious memory for our lives. But while I was busy, Adrian wasn't idle either. Ever since he became Isabella's assistant, he's been flattering her every day, acting more like a boyfriend than the real boyfriend, did. I warned him more than once, but he immediately tattled on me to Isabella, causing our relationship to deteriorate. Until the eve of the engagement banquet, I saw Adrian's arm around Isabella's shoulder. I couldn't suppress the anger in my heart anymore and rushed up to push Adrian to the ground. Isabella argued with me when she saw this. That was the most serious argument we'd had since we met. The consequence was that Isabella chose to go abroad before the engagement banquet, and I chose to let go. I don't think a woman without boundaries would be a good match for me. From then on, I never received any news from Isabella, until she contacted me this time after returning to China. I originally thought about meeting to talk things through and part ways amicably. I didn't expect the scene from the beginning to happen. Coming out of Mr. Grant's ward, scenes of us together flashed in my mind. I shook my head with a wry smile, shaking them out of my head. But when I walked to a ward door, I heard Isabella's familiar voice coming from inside. "Adrian, don't move. Be careful of the four." I looked through the crack in the door and saw Adrian holding Isabella tightly with his left arm. "Isabella, didn't you say my abs are 18 streets ahead of Julian's? Feel them." Adrian pulled Isabella's hand to his abs and pouted. "Isabella, I want you. You haven't let me touch you since you came back to China." After saying that, he couldn't wait to kiss Isabella. Isabella only resisted symbolically and then indulged in it recklessly. Seeing this scene, there was no fluctuation in my heart. I just felt lucky that I had chosen to let go back then. Otherwise, I would have been infuriated by what I saw. I recorded the scandalous scene inside, intending to show my former father-in-law how depraved his precious daughter was. Walking out of the hospital, I took out my phone and called my father. "Dad, have the resources from the Bennett family been taken back?" My father replied, "I've been so busy, I haven't had time to deal with it yet." "Then don't worry about it. I'll handle it." "What do you want to do?" "Since the Bennett family developed because of me, I'll personally destroy them." "Okay, call me if you can't handle it." After hanging up the phone with my father, I started spreading the word. Anyone who dares to cooperate with the Bennett family will face the full force of the Sterling and Miller families. I didn't want to go too far, considering our past memories. If Isabella clearly said she didn't love me anymore and wanted to be with Adrian, then I would offer my blessings. After all, everyone has the right to pursue beautiful things. But you're enjoying the thrill of having an affair with Adrian while wanting me to be like a lapdog, fawning over you. If you're going to treat me like a dog, then I'm sorry. If you're unrighteous, don't blame me for being unjust. The next day, Isabella slowly opened her eyes in the hospital bed, feeling completely drained. Recalling what happened last night, she felt a hint of blush, heart palpitations, and the thrill of the hospital room. Adrian hugged Isabella again, calling out emotionally, Isabella. Isabella pushed Adrian away, warning him sternly. Last night was the last time. You're not allowed to tell anyone. If Julian finds out, you know the consequences. Hearing Isabella's slightly threatening tone, a trace of unwillingness flashed in Adrian's eyes. He hugged Isabella again, his hands wandering restlessly over her skin. Isabella glared. Adrian, are you crazy? It's daytime now, and this is a hospital. Isn't it more exciting this way? Adrian kissed her without explanation. As the two were indulging in passion, the phone on the bedside table vibrated, but no one noticed. Only after they were done did Isabella pick up the phone, which showed dozens of missed calls, all from her father, Mr. Bennett. She immediately had a bad feeling and hurriedly called back. As soon as the call connected, Mr. Bennett's angry roar came through. Isabella, what are you doing? Do you know the company is in trouble? Julian has imposed a ban on the company, and all the partners have broken their contracts and left. Many black marks that were previously suppressed have been exposed again. The company is in complete chaos. Come back to the company immediately. Isabella looked incredulous, saying nonchalantly, he's really petty just because of what happened at the banquet hall. Dad, don't worry. I'll talk to him. Nothing serious will happen. Mr. Bennett was speechless for a long time, stunned by his daughter's naivety. Isabella, do you think it's of any use for you to go to Julian at this point? If he withdraws the ban now, where will the Sterling family's face be? I thought that after so many years of development, the Bennett family was already very strong. But now it seems that although the Sterling family has declined, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. We were careless. Isabella also realized the seriousness of the problem and hurriedly wanted to get out of bed. But Adrian grabbed her hand. She immediately got angry. Get out. Don't touch me. Adrian smiled and said, Isabella, Julian loves you so much. He'll definitely do whatever you say. He's your lapdog. Isabella, who was originally anxious, calmed down, thinking that I would definitely forgive her as before. So, she hurriedly called me. Hello, what's up? I've been busy all day and forgot to blacklist Isabella. Julian, yesterday I was drunk. Those were just drunken ramblings. Don't take them seriously. Hurry and lift the ban. I'm your fiancé. We can talk about anything in private. Drunken ramblings? When you said those things yesterday, I didn't sense a shred of drunkenness in you. After saying that, I hung up the phone and blacklisted all her contact information in one fell swoop. Isabella, listening to the dial tone from the receiver, was completely stunned. She never thought I would hang up on her. The confidence Adrian had given her instantly vanished, replaced by a feeling of helplessness and panic. Adrian noticed the panic in Isabella's eyes, stroked Isabella's smooth back, and said with a smile, Don't worry, Isabella. Julian is definitely trying to string you along. In a few days, he'll be crawling back on his knees to apologize. Slap! Isabella turned her head and slapped him, her beautiful eyes filled with anger. Shut up. We were originally planning to get married this time we came back to China, but you suggested testing him again. If Julian doesn't forgive me this time, you're a dead man. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became, her eyes filled with regret. Adrian, covering his face, argued, Isabella, I was just doing it for your own good. Isabella stared fixedly at Adrian, her tone angry. Adrian, don't think I don't know what you're scheming. Everything you've done is to make us break up so you can be with me and possess the entire Bennett family fortune. Isabella had seen through Adrian's actions. She hadn't exposed Adrian because she enjoyed the feeling of being pursued by two men. She was also getting a little tired of being with Adrian for the past 5 years. Adrian, still unwilling to give up, stubbornly argued, Isabella, is that really what you think of me? I'm by your side because I want you to be happy. Enough, Adrian. Do you even believe what you're saying? The two began to argue fiercely. The hospital room door was kicked open from the outside. Mr. Bennett walked in, and seeing the scene on the bed, his beard bristled with anger. After Mr. Bennett turned around, Isabella hurriedly put on her clothes. She explained in a low voice, looking embarrassed, Dad, it's not what you think. Mr. Bennett turned around and slapped her, causing blood to spill from the corner of Isabella's mouth. Then he signaled the bodyguards behind him to drag Adrian off the bed and beat him up. "You bastard! You're the one who brought this disaster. You're ruining the Bennett family's plans. I'm going to kill you today, Mr." Bennett's furious tone made it seem like he wanted to swallow Adrian whole. Adrian was beaten almost to death before Isabella told the bodyguards to stop. "Mr." Bennett also calmed down. Since the incident had already happened, killing Adrian now wouldn't help anything. "Dad, the overseas branches have been developing very well in the past few years. At worst, we can give up our domestic businesses and immigrate abroad as a family. Mr." Bennett thought of his daughter's achievements in the past 5 years. His tightly furrowed brow relaxed, and he breathed a slight sigh of relief. The hospital room was silent for a moment before the phone ringing and vibrating started like a death knell. Isabella glanced at the caller ID and quickly answered the phone. Her assistant reported the situation in a flustered manner. "Ms. Bennett, a major incident has occurred. Today, investors withdrew their capital, suppliers broke their contracts, and employees resigned. Now, I'm the only one left at the company." "What?" Isabella's heart, which had just settled, was raised again, and she asked in a trembling voice, "Have you found out the reason?" The assistant explained the information she had gathered. An old client of ours revealed that the Bennett Group's development at home and abroad these past few years has been due to the Sterling family's secret support. They all partnered with us to get on the Sterling family's good side. Hearing this, Mr. Bennett and Isabella collapsed to the ground. They had both thought that the Bennett Group's growth was due to their own abilities, but they found out that someone had been paving the way for them. "Mr. Bennett said with a look of despair, "It's over. It's completely over. Originally, our Bennett family could have clung to the Sterling family like a lifeline, but now you've ruined it all. Damn it." He beat his chest and stamped his feet, screaming as if someone had punctured his lungs. "No way. I'm going to find Julian. Even if I have to kneel on the ground and beg him, I'll get him back." Isabella trembled as she got up, muttering to herself. 3 days later, I had finished dealing with things in Seattle and returned to New York. I didn't inquire about the Bennett family's affairs anymore, just sent an assistant to keep an eye on them. I just wanted to take back what I had given them over the years, otherwise I wouldn't feel comfortable. When I got home, I saw the 2 little ones gobbling down their food in a race. All my negative emotions vanished. I changed my shoes, opened my arms, and shouted, "Noah, Lily, Daddy's home." When the 2 little ones saw me, they couldn't even bother to eat. Their little legs scurried towards me. Holding the 2 little ones in my arms, I felt incredibly content. My wife came out of the kitchen with a stir-fry dish. She said gently, "When you're not home, they ask every day when you'll be back." Now, they've finally seen their daddy. I happily kissed each of the little ones on the cheek and said smugly, "Looks like my darlings love me more. Okay, stop showing off and go wash your hands and eat." During dinner, I told my wife everything that had happened in Seattle. After listening, she just shook her head and said, "Heaven can forgive sins, but self-inflicted sins are unforgivable. But I still have to thank her, otherwise I wouldn't have met you." Oomph. Now you know your husband is good, right? You have to treat me even better in the future. Yeah, Daddy is the best. Good. You too. Hurry up and eat. You little guys are everywhere. The joyful family atmosphere always makes people forget all kinds of troubles in life. I'm so glad that after leaving Isabella, I met Sophia. Her person is just like her name, gentle and kind, with a docile personality. We've been married for almost 5 years and haven't even argued. Whenever we encounter any difficulties, we discuss them with each other. In my opinion, this is the most beautiful aspect of marriage. But before I could have 2 days of peace, Isabella found my place. I was just about to take the kids to the amusement park. I drove the car out of the garage to the front door, waiting for Sophia and them, when I saw Isabella standing at my door, anxiously pacing in place. When she saw me, she rushed over in a panic. "Julian, I'm sorry. I was really just drunk that night and said those crazy things. I've already driven Adrian away. I won't let her affect our relationship. Just forgive me this once." From beginning to end, I only love you. Isabella's eyes were filled with tears as she babbled on. I was disgusted and almost wanted to throw up, saying she only loved me, but she climbed into another man's bed early on. I narrowed my eyes and warned, Isabella, from the moment you listened to Adrian and went abroad 5 years ago, I already stopped loving you. I'm not interested in knowing about your and Adrian's messy affairs. Don't ever appear in front of me again, or don't blame me for being ruthless. Isabella obviously didn't expect me to be so cold. She thought that if she found me and cried, I would soften. I didn't have the mood to care about what was going on in her head. Seeing Sophia come out with the 2 children, I got out of the car to open the door. Isabella came back to her senses, and when she saw this scene, she asked in a trembling voice, Julian, who are they? I couldn't be bothered to pay attention to her, got into the car, and prepared to leave. But Isabella stood in front of the car, refusing to leave, insisting on getting an explanation. My wife smiled and said to me, Julian, why don't you go down and explain it to her, so she won't keep bothering us in the future? I forced myself to ignore the disgust and walked up to Isabella, saying expressionlessly, They're my wife and children. Now you have your answer. Can you get lost? No, this isn't true. Julian, how could you marry someone else? I'm your fiancé. Don't say that. The engagement banquet was never held 5 years ago. You're not my fiancé. Julian, you took the agreement back then and said you would wait for me for 5 years. I did take the agreement, but I didn't sign it. Wait for you for 5 years. Are you worthy? Julian, don't talk to me like that. I was misled by Adrian's slander back then and misunderstood you. No need. You should be Adrian's fiancé properly. You two should be locked together. Don't come out and harm people. Julian, I've always considered Adrian a friend. We are innocent. You have to believe me. Isabella, do I have to spell it out so clearly? Wouldn't it be better to save each other some face? You say our relationship is abnormal. Do you have evidence? Isabella, you really don't know when to stop. Then take a look at the people in this video. Are they familiar? After saying that, I showed her the video I took at the hospital. All words seemed pale and powerless in the face of solid evidence. Isabella still wanted to quibble, but seeing my livid face, she couldn't say a word. She collapsed to the ground. I warned, Isabella, don't appear in front of me again. I've already taken back the things I gave to the Bennett family. From now on, we're even. After saying that, I turned around and got into the car and left. Behind me is the source of all my happiness. It's best to stay away from rotten people like Isabella. After that, Isabella never appeared in front of me again, until I saw a news report. Mr. Bennett couldn't accept the shock of the company's bankruptcy and jumped off a building. Isabella vented all her anger and resentment on Adrian. Adrian, taking advantage of Isabella's inattention, ran away with all the remaining assets of the Bennett family. But he didn't run far before Isabella found him and tortured him to death. Isabella was also arrested and imprisoned, awaiting the death penalty. I wasn't surprised by this outcome. After all, it's easy to go from frugality to extravagance, but difficult to go from extravagance to frugality. I never thought that the simple and kind little girl I first met back then would become like this. I sighed inwardly. She was someone I loved with my life. I hope she learns how to love others in her next life. Before Isabella was executed, she repeatedly requested to see me. I ignored it and instead took my wife and children on a trip abroad. Some people are destined to only accompany you for a part of the journey. Look forward, don't look back.